Once upon a time, in a land not so far away, there was a magical fairy named Fifi, and she wanted to tell a tale with you at Wombat School. Are you ready to learn about narratives? Let's go on a storytelling adventure. You'll know you're successful when you can identify and name features of different text types. A narrative is just a fancy word for a story, but there are some important things that all narratives have. All narratives have characters, a setting, an introduction, a problem or complication, a solution, and a conclusion. A narrative starts with an introduction. This is where we find out about the world the story is set in and meet the characters in that story. The characters are the ones the story is about. They can be people, animals, objects, or anything your imagination can create. All narratives have a setting, which is where the story takes place. This could be anywhere: a billabong, a castle, or a fairy's treehouse with a wombat visitor. Which brings me to the complication. This is the exciting part. This is where something happens like a problem or an adventure. For example, Fifi the fairy's problem is that Wombat won't stop eating all her fairy bread in her fairy treehouse. A solution is where the complication is solved. I know, I'll make the Wombat his own fairy bread and politely hint that he should eat it at his own burrow. Bye, Wombat! See you next time! Anytime now! And finally, the conclusion, how the story finishes. Now Fifi the fairy misses Wombat and wishes they were still eating fairy bread together. I know, I'll go pay the Wombat a visit. And they ate fairy bread together, happily ever after. The end. Let's make a narrative together. Here's our introduction. Wombat is on a tropical island and finds a treasure map. What could happen next? Maybe Wombat goes on an adventure to find the treasure, but the complication is there's a big storm. Let's think of a solution. Wombat swims to shore of a mysterious island. And how could it end? Maybe he finds the treasure. What could the treasure be?
Banana.
Now you know what a narrative is. It's a story with characters, setting, an introduction, complication, solution, and conclusion. Try telling your own story today. Okay, Fifi the fairy is off to a fairy party. Thanks for coming to Wombat School. G'day teachers and parents. If you'd like some more exciting learning, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Wombat School.